Today's fixing bugs and stuff, we're gonna talk about some sheet metal. Okay, let's go over sheet metal stuff here. So this is the front firewall. I do have a video on this. I end up taking this apart. So I have a video on that. If you wanna check that out, you'll find out why I'm doing that. These are the rear quarter panels here. That's the passenger side, but this is the driver's side. It's the driver's side. I wasn't sure how much rust I had, so I got this whole piece. You can get them where they're 6 inches tall here only, or you can just get this section here. But I figured I'd get the whole thing. I can always use the sheet metal somewhere else, the extra sheet metal that I don't use. Let's see, the heater channels. It's another one. All of these are from CIP1. These heater channels are new product on CIP1's website. It's supposed to be thicker, heavier gauge metal, and it is. It's kind of heavy. And they're not year specific. So, comparing it to the old one, this is the front half of the driver's side heater channel. And you can see here, there's a hole. That's where the wiring harness goes into. And then it comes out at the bottom here. Then it runs along the bottom edge here on the car. This one doesn't have it. So either I can make a hole or a notch, but I'm kind of reluctant to do that because there's all kinds of sheet metals on the inside. If you see this guy, there's all kinds of cavities in sheet metal. I don't want to be like making holes if I don't have to. And it's not a big deal if the harness runs out here. I'm not too concerned about that. It'll be covered by the carpet. I'm not sure if it's going to show a slight bulge or whatever, but we'll worry about that when we get there. I don't think it's a big deal. It's not that big of a harness, really. Not that thick. Anyway, just showing you what this is all about. It looks like the carpet, where the carpet sits, this pinches the carpet. It's pretty far up here, and it goes way back here. So I'm not sure if I have to modify this. Don't know until I get into the car, but so far it looks good. Anyway, on this video, might as well show you what I'm gonna do here. I gotta fit this tube into this rear brace. As you can see, that one's oval and this is circular. That's not gonna fit in there. I have to modify it to make it fit. So I'm gonna show you in this video what I'm gonna do, how to make that fit and what you need to do. So it's very important since these are not year specific. Okay, I grabbed this heater duct to fit in here to show you. Since this is already oval on this side, it's circular here, it has to go in this way. Oops, just like that. That's how it goes. So this faces inside the car to provide heat, and then this gets attached to the heater channel. So I really don't want to replace this with something circular because then it will not fit onto this guy. So right now I will cut out this guy here and then cut into him to be sure that it all fits together. That's next. First I'm gonna mark where I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut at this angle here. This is, by the way, this is a whiteout pen. So I'm going to cut this way, here. Mark it. Here I'm gonna cut this way here. I'm gonna cut right on the edge of this rounded sheet metal here. Okay, so I marked where I want to cut. I want to cut this way, I want to cut that way, and I want to cut along this edge here. So let me do that now. Let me cut this piece out and go from there. Okay, running into a little bit of difficulty here. So what I decided I'm going to do is, you can see this here, there's a flange on this side of the tube. And you look on the other side, there's also a flange here. There's a flange here. So, I think I'm gonna cut one of these flanges off. It's the best way to get this off. It's flanged in between two pieces of metal, and it's very difficult to get out. So I think what I'll do is I'll leave the flange on this side, since this is the back of the car that gets exposed to the elements. And this side will not have a flange because I'm gonna grind that back. And then after I grind that back, I should be able to push this in that direction out of the hole. So I'm gonna give that a try. I'm gonna use a grinder instead. I end up cutting out the front piece out. So let me put this back together so you can see what I mean. I end up using the cutting wheel on the Dremel here. End up using the Dremel to cut this front piece out. Once I did that, I grinded this out just to show, to get rid of that flange that was on there before. And once I did that, this popped right out. As you can see, this still has the back flange on it, which is helpful. So once I clean this up, clean this edge, I will weld it to the other piece. Okay, this is the driver's side that we're working on. So this piece, I'm gonna have to weld into here. I'm gonna have to grind this lip down to get this on properly. And then the back of this, that's gonna have to go. So this is all duct work. It's not really critical, since there's a hose that goes on this back end. The hose gets connected here. It's flexible, and the position of this is not that critical. Look at this bump here. This bump right here. It's showing you that direction, which should be going in. Look at the old sheet metal. It kind of has the same thing. This bump here is showing you it's going in that direction. So this is how it should be oriented. And then this guy should go in this way, like that. Okay, at that angle. And then this guy should go in. So I should go in at that angle. So let me clean this up, get it ready for welding prep, and go from there. Okay, I'm at a point where I weld prep. I grinded off all around here as best I could, and then grind this guy grinded the flange down to be flat, and I grind around the flange. The way this sits, and sit in here, just like that. I have to grind a little bit off of this, notch this out a little bit, so this can sit in here, just like that. And if you can see inside the hole, I'll get a clear shot. It's not, because this is oval, I'm trying to put this in the center of the oval. So you can take a good look at it. Okay, I can see. It's kind of in the center of it. It's hard to see. But that's how I'm gonna weld it in here. And that'll be the next step. Just weld it, getting that set up. And it should be good. Okay, everything looks good. I'm gonna start welding here. So I'm gonna weld this area first, just to tack weld it. I'll tack weld it here. I don't want the metal to warp, so I'll just tack weld it at this point. Okay, at this point, I did some, I guess they stitch welded a little here or there, and did pretty well. If you look on the other side, it's not bad at all. It looks really good. So just spot weld in certain areas so you don't warp the metal, and it looks good. What I'll do is I'll grind this down, and then I can always seam seal it later. That's what I'm gonna do. There's a gap along here, but that's the best thing you can do, just seam seal it too. But it's on there pretty strong. It's not going anywhere. So, looks good. Okay, I grinded back the welds here, just to make them look better. They came out pretty good. I went a little heavy on the side here, accidentally. That wasn't my plan, but that's what happens. This is underneath the car, so you're not gonna see it, but I still need to add seam sealer here, because there's the gap here. I definitely want to seam seal that, and then once you do that, you can paint it just to cover those areas. I know a lot of this stuff's gonna have to be seam sealed because there's a gap in here. This hole, I don't know what that hole is for, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, this is what it looks like. On the other side, you can see the welds that were done. As long as your welds don't go through and make a hole, your heat's just right. This is actually pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. And if you can take a closer look inside here, we'll try to get concentric to the hole. You can see a little bit of the flange here, a little bit of the flange there. But as long as you get it through, I centered it pretty well, and that should be good enough for the airflow, for the heat to go through. And that's basically it. Now, just to give an overview before I end the video, is I've been using this MIG 135, and it's been great. So the settings for this application here was like a 90 or 0.090 millimeter thick. I had the settings up to that, so it was it's on F, and it's on, I guess, between 4 and 5. So the trick is, like I said earlier, not to have it weld through, making holes, and you don't want a bunch of wire or globs of weld on top of your sheet metal. So this is the best setting I have. So those of you are going to be using this or have this, this is the setting for it that I used, that I felt comfortable with. And it turned out well, very well. This thing is not moving at all. Again, it's just duct work, not structural. And if you're wondering what goes on the other side. All right, so later on I will have to grind this lip down, flush. And then I'm gonna have to put this on like so. Now I'm not gonna put this on until I have everything together inside the car, meaning that I have this welded onto the body and also the heater channel, because I want to make sure that that ductwork all mates up correctly. So that'll be later on. I'll grind this down and then we'll weld this piece on later. Okay, hopefully this was helpful in this. I know I changed direction in the middle of the video, and please like, subscribe, and share, and thank you for watching.